Are you looking for a Pokemon TCG deck that's super, super fast? I'm so fast! And one that hits really, really hard.
If so, then I've got the deck for you guys. Today we're talking about Ceruledge EX, which I'm super hype is actually playable because Ceruledge is such a sick Pokemon and is easily becoming one of my favorite. But that's beside the point. Today we've got a super turbo list, which I owe all the credit to fellow channel member and Twitch subscriber, Twitch mod, friend, XNDRX. Thank you so much for this list. It is really, really good to climb the ladder with. But like X has said in some of my Twitch streams, it might not be great for like a best of 3 type of scenario, so take this list with a grain of salt. It is meant to literally cook through the deck as fast as it possibly can, get as many energies into the discard pile, and do as much damage as we can early on. So with that being said, right now we're playing the 470 HP Charcadet that just came out in Surging Sparks. With the Will-O-Wisp attack for 20 damage and 1 fire energy is pretty okay, and it's got 1 retreat cost, so right now I think this is probably the best Charcadet to use, unless you want to bling it out and use the shiny Charcadet. That one's also, I think, 70 HP with 1 retreat. The attack just isn't as effective if you have to attack with a Charcadet. We would hope that's not the case, but because this deck mostly wants to go first because we need to evolve. So anyway, jumping into that, we've got 3 Ceruledge EX. The big thing here, we've got the Abyssal Flames, which does 30 plus. This attack does 20 more damage for each energy in your discard pile. So you can see why we want to just churn through the deck as fast as we possibly can, get as many energies as we possibly can into the discard pile, because then just for 1 fire energy, we can be doing insane amounts of damage very, very early on. So to help with that, we've got a Radiant Greninja with a Concealed Cards ability. We all know that one. Discard an energy, draw 2 cards. And we've got Squawkabilly EX to set up really fast and discard our hands as quick as we possibly can. We got Pheasantipity EX, which is in decks for obvious reasons. Your Pokemon gets knocked out, so like a Charcadet, very easily getting knocked out right away. We can draw 3 cards, so just to help draw more cards, which is really good. The A-spec of choice in this build is actually the Brilliant Blender, which is also a new card from Surging Sparks. Search your deck for up to 5 cards and discard them. 9 out of 10 cases with this deck, we're searching for 5 energies, putting them right in the discard pile. So it helps with the burn and churn kind of effect that this deck has, just like all these other items here. So we've got 4 Earthen Vessels. We're usually discarding an energy and getting more energy out of the deck so we don't draw into it. 4 Nest Balls for all of our basic Pokemon, obviously. We've got 4 Night Stretcher in case we're in a situation where we like Carmine, which we'll get to in a second, our whole hand away and there's a couple Pokemon in there. Sometimes it's like a Ceruledge EX or something. The Night Stretcher helps get that back. Or the 1 energy that we need to attack with Ceruledge EX. The Night Stretcher is super, super helpful. So we've got 4 of those in there, which is really nice. We've got 1 Pal Pad. I often find myself having to discard like both of the boss's orders, which I'm sure we'll probably see in some of the games here. So having the Pal Pad, or even for the Briar, or literally any of the supporters, the Turo even, the Pal Pad can come in really, really handy. We've got 4 Trekking Shoes to help us just churn through the deck even faster. And it's really nice if you hit a Trekking Shoes and you get an energy off the top, we choose to just not keep that and it goes into the discard pile. So Trekking Shoes really helps kind of just push along the play style of this deck, I guess. We've got 4 Ultra Ball for obvious reasons. Probably discarding 2 energy, getting a Pokemon that we need. That is the ideal situation. We've got Pokestop. Worst case, you're spinning this and getting some Pokemon and supporters and stuff into the discard pile. Which is what we have, the 4 Night Stretcher and the 1 Pal Pad. The 1 Pal Pad seems sometimes a little not enough. Maybe we could up that. But like I said, this is just a burn and churn type of list, so take it with a grain of salt. But the Pokestop is really good for churning through things, discarding energy, those types of things. For supporter counts, we've got 2 Boss's Orders. Gussing is really, really effective, obviously, especially for these decks that like to go really fast and hit really hard. If we can take out a major target on the bench that's just a beefy Pokemon or something, it's nice to be able to just capitalize on that very quickly. So 2 Boss's Orders. I would not mind seeing a higher Boss's Orders count, but this list is also very tight for a deck that wants to go really, really fast. We've got our 1 Briar. Our main attacker is a terrestrialized Pokemon, being Ceruledge. or Terra Pokemon. So if we get into that situation where our opponent has 2 prize cards left, we can use Briar and take an extra prize with a knockout from the Ceruledge. We've got 4 Carmine, mostly because we do want to go first, and Carmine can allow us to dump our hand and draw 5 going first. And kind of splitting that up into a research build doesn't make sense, because then the consistency of maybe getting the Carmine turn 1 is cut down then. So I think sometimes drawing the 2 fewer cards is probably okay for that trade-off. But this probably could be split into like a 2-2 with a research and 2 Carmines. Something like that. But the 4 Carmine has felt fine so far as the, like I said, the overall goal of the deck is concerned. We've got 1 Turo, because as you'll see, the Ceruledge EX is actually pretty beefy 270 HP, so a lot of the times the Ceruledge is taking some serious hits, and we can kind of just Turo it up and rinse and repeat. To wrap things up with the deck, as you might assume with the overall strategy of the deck, we're going to need some serious energy count, so we've got 18 fire energy. That's it for the deck list. Let's jump into some games. Before we jump into any games with this list, as always, the list will be compiled into a clickable link down in the description below, so definitely check that out. And if you like these types of videos, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's do it. All right, our opponent is choosing the coin flip. They chose heads. We'll see what our fate is. We want to go first in a world where a lot of decks want to go second, I think. So yes, we will go first. We won, and I just kind of zoned out there. So it looks like this one's at least going to start off pretty well for us. We've got a pretty sick starting hand. If things are in the deck, we should actually be off to like an insane start here. So I guess we'll just wait and see. This is actually crazy. This hand is unbelievable. So we'll just wait and see. I'm assuming this is... maybe this isn't Charizard, but it's definitely something. So we want to get probably Greninja, probably Squawk. I wouldn't hate to see another Charcadet out for obvious reasons. But we're going to grab Radiant Greninja here, I think is probably fine. We'll go ahead and just conceal cards. Basically, whatever we get into our hand of Carmine, this is absolutely insane. So whatever we get can be fine. We don't really care about discarding anything super valuable right at this point. So we've got 2 Night Stretchers in the deck. We've got 3 total, which is something to consider because we will be throwing one away right now. We've got 4 Trekking Shoes. The Pal Pads in there, which is really good to know. We've got the 2 Boss. So that seems fine. I think what we'll do here is grab even more energy out of the deck, which is absolutely insane. We will go ahead and I think Nest Ball for, I think, Squawk here. Just in case. Sometimes I don't like grabbing it this early. Just in case the Carmine hand is not super great. Or if the Carmine hand is good, I should say, and we don't want to discard it. Because we're going to Carmine first. And just kind of see what we do, because it is turn 1, so it doesn't really matter. This is actually insane. So the one bad thing to note here is that we are unfortunately going to be tossing the Pal Pad and another Night Stretcher. So that's something to note, something to keep track of for future reference. Like we can probably attach an energy here. I'm not sure that this one's going to get knocked out or not. We could put the Carmine back in the deck. I feel like we almost might as well. If we're going to just toss the Pal Pad anyway, we might as well just do that. And then we'll go ahead and Squawk and Seize. So as you can see already, this deck is meant to just absolutely burn through the deck. We've got Trekking Shoes even. Yes, we do want to keep that. We've got another Trekking Shoes. No, we don't want to keep that energy. I think we're fine. We've got Trekking Shoes number 3. I think we will keep the Turo just to see kind of what happens here. I'm actually not going to Pokestop right now. But I will go ahead and Ultra Ball these 2. This turn is taking a really long time and I feel kind of bad. But I'm trying to go as fast as possible. So I'll save the Pokestop and we will end the turn. This is actually an insane setup here. There's just a lone Cleffa sitting there all by its lonesome. And we've already got 16 cards left in deck, which is insane. And we've got 14 of our, what was it, 18 energy? total, I think. 14 energy in the discard pile. So we're basically in a really commanding position here. It looks like we're playing against the Hydreigon deck. Now, I believe this is a single prize deck, if I remember correctly. So I'll be curious to see. Well, no, that's not entirely true. The EX is pretty good. But I believe there's also a single prize Hydreigon that's okay. So I'll be curious to see what they accomplish here. They are thinning with the Ultra Ball, so their Grasping Draw will actually be pretty good. So in the discard, they've got nothing crazy. They grab Rotom, which is curious. I wonder if they'd be better off just... Oh, they grab Rotom for the Forest Seal Stone, so I guess that makes sense. I was going to say, if they're using that to instant charge, I think Grasping Draw is just objectively better, but that they're smarter than me. So they're benching the Rotom for the Forest Seal Stone, so probably some other sort of setup card. I'm not entirely sure what else they would be going for off of that, but maybe they're getting what they need for next turn, and then they'll Grasping Draw. They got a Pheasantipity. They're putting that down already. So they are going to Grasping Draw and drop to 7. So they got a pretty good setup going on. Carmine isn't exactly what I wanted. I was hoping for Boss's Orders or something. But I think what I might do here is I actually might Turo the Squawkabilly. Let me Pokestop really quick and just see what we get. So we get Earthen Vessel and an Ultra Ball. I don't think there's anything I really want to... Let's see. I could get some energies. I feel fine tossing the Carmine, I think. We got 1 energy. So that being said, I'm actually not going to Ultra Ball at all, obviously. I think what I'm going to do... Actually, I will conceal cards. The decision making is kind of tricky sometimes with this. We actually have the boss now, which is kind of funny. I think I'm going to go ahead and actually... Part of me wants to just get rid of the Dino, but getting rid of Pheasantipity would also be fine. I think the Dino's actually the threat here, so that's what I'm going to do, is actually get rid of that. There's a lot of... You could definitely argue that I could have gone after Pheasantipity or even the Pidgey. And this is where, even after, several years of playing this game, that decision-making is kind of difficult for me, and I'll be the first one to admit it. So, if you don't think that play was correct, I probably agree with you. But, in my opinion, the Dino was the only thing that was going to be evolving and attacking anytime soon, so that seemed like the biggest threat to me. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that I just now made it an uneven prize trade, so maybe I should have gone after the Pheasantipity. I'm not entirely sure there, but we will see how deeply punished I am for making a play like that. I don't feel like it was greedy. If anything, it was the opposite. It wasn't greedy enough. So we'll see. This turn, though, I can... What I was thinking about before I got the boss, though, is Turoing the Squawkabilly so that doesn't get knocked out as a liability. So they didn't get anything off the Pokestop. Looks like they got rid of a TM Devolution, a Headquarters, and a Metal Energy. So be curious to see what their play is now. They've got an Arven. Try to set some more stuff up. I'm not entirely sure how how this game could sway for us. But the fact that Ceruledge is already hitting 330 damage is insane. So if anything, even if I lose this game, I feel like I would still put it in the video just to show how insanely fast you can get up to just crazy numbers. 330 HP, I believe, is knocking everything out in the current format. There's still a VMAX Pokemon running around that's got like 350 or something. But most of the big ones are 330, and it was already hitting that turn 2. So I think you can see the point of how ridiculous this deck can actually be. The one thing that sucks, though, is that we did get rid of the Pal Pad, which is unfortunate. We've got 9 cards, so now's the point where you do want to be a little bit careful and just make sure you don't start to get too crazy with drawing the rest of your deck. In this case, we've got some pretty good options here. I actually wanted to Turo the Squawkabilly anyway, so we will do that. We will put our Ceruledge with the energy into the active. We've got another one sitting right there. And if we even want to, we can kind of just take a look here. We've got the other bosses in there: Carmine Trekking Shoes, Nest Ball, Pokestop. We could... Nah, I don't think there's any reason to get the Charcadet, but it doesn't really hurt. I think I'm actually going to fail it. I'm going to fail that and just decide to leave it in the deck. Just as another card at this point, I think that seems fine. So we are just going to Abyssal Flames for 330, taking us back to an even prize trade, which I think is fine. So even if they do knock out the active Ceruledge, which I think they're going to have to work pretty hard for, we have another one immediately set up that's going to put in some serious work for us. So I don't remember what the Hydreigon does, but I guess we are about to find out. Hydreigon EX right there is doing 200, discard the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. That could be scary. That could be very scary. So we need to respond as fast as possible. But given our current hand, I think we have everything we need. We shouldn't need more than 2 turns. So I actually feel pretty okay with this. If they're doing the crashing, crashing headbutt 3 turns in a row, we failed. So I think we're actually safe here. Discarding the top 3 cards is a bummer, but I think we're fine. We should be fine to do what we need to wrap up this game here. So let's see what they're going to quick search for. We obviously don't get to see the card, but we'll see if they play anything. They got Zweilous, so they don't need the rare candy to evolve into the Hydreigon the next turn. So they're going to try to get 2 of those set up immediately, which is fair. But like I said, we shouldn't need, especially since, so the big thing to consider here, and I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm trying to talk through my thought process of playing the deck as well. The big thing to note here is that the Crashing Headbutt does not knock out the Ceruledge, so we can automatically get the return KO with this Ceruledge right here, all while being okay for them to essentially mill 6 cards. So we'll be able to get this knockout here because it survives, and then we'll have a response Ceruledge right there ready to go. So they got rid of the other boss, which is kind of a bummer, but that's okay. Looks like it was a Carmine, Pokestop, and the other boss's orders. We've got 4 cards left in the deck. So as long as we can get the next knockout, that's really all that matters. But if they put a single prizer in the active or something, they could just win. I guess we will see what happens. They know the position they're in. If they play this properly, they could just win. But they also, I guess it's not technically a known fact that I'm not playing more than 2 boss's orders. So they could just, maybe think that I could have another boss's orders. So they do evolve. The only thing I was thinking there when I said that is if they stayed... Actually, that thought doesn't matter. I was thinking the effect of the Crashing Headbutt needed to happen, but they can't do that without evolving. Never mind. Disregard what I was thinking. We are fine. We're totally fine. For some reason, I thought if they didn't evolve the Hydreigon, but then somehow my deck was still milled of 3, they would just pass a turn and I would draw my card. And then if they pass again, I just lose by deck out. But I'm overthinking things like I do a lot, and we actually just win because Ceruledge does 330 damage right off the rip. We did deck out by drawing for turn here, but we're hitting for 350, taking the last 2 prizes of this. So you can see how dangerous it gets. You really have to be careful with the amount of cards that you're drawing, but also at the same time, you kind of just want to step on the gas and let it rip. Looks like it's tails. Our opponent chose heads, so we do get to choose to go first, which is super helpful. Like I had said previously in the video, this deck does prefer to go first. It can get by going second. This hand would have been nuts, actually. If we could have just gotten a basic Pokemon, we would have Ultra Balled for hopefully Squawk or something, and we would have been off to the races. Which leads me to say another change that we had been talking about making to this deck is maybe a second Squawk in case of prizing situations. Not entirely sure that it's worth it or not, but it'd be nice to have it in the event that we are not able to get it. But this could be very bad. I'm going to say no to the Ceruledge because we want... Oh my gosh. That's terrible. I don't know if this is going to be good or not. We'll see what happens. Our opponent is probably going to draw a lot of cards. Unless they're playing like Energy Switch, I don't think they can get the knockout here, but that could definitely be the case. To be fair, this is the first time that I've ever completely bricked up like this. However, the one cool thing is we're sitting in a good spot if we have Carmine's insane here, so I guess we'll just do that. Well, Carmine's 6 energies. And we can rescue or Night Stretcher the Ceruledge back, which is insane. So automatically, in one turn, we are in a very, very different position than we were in before. It looks like Greninja's not available to us, so we will just grab another Charcadet. I think that's probably the call to make there. We'll attach our energy there, and we can Brilliant Blender a bunch, and it went from 0 to 60 in like 5 seconds. So there we go. Our opponent chose Tails this time, and we won the coin flip. My luck with the coin flip has been absolutely bonkers today, so we will obviously opt to go first again and see what we can get in this hand. We've got the 2 Ceruledge is kind of less than ideal, so I guess we'll see what we can get. They're starting a Duskull, so be curious to see what we are up against. Let's Trekking Shoes here. No, I maybe should have. It probably was correct to Nest Ball there first, which we will do. Let's see. We've got 1 Ceruledge in the deck. How many? We've got 3 Night Stretchers. I'm trying to decide if we should Squawk and Seize here. Let's grab Radiant Greninja first, because getting rid of the 2 Ceruledge feels very questionable. We've got Carmine even. I think we're gonna go for it. Let's just go ahead and Carmine. We should be able to get our stuff back if need be. So we've got the Earthen Vessel. We will put that into our hand, and we will start cooking some more energy away. Let's see, how many? We're down 0 Night Stretcher. It still feels questionable, if I'm being honest. Squawking here, but I think we're only losing 1 Night Stretcher. I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. That's kind of the point of the deck. We gotta just go all out. We do have Ultra Ball though, so we could get the other Ceruledge out of the deck if we need to, but we do have 7 energy in there. We've got only 1 Night Stretcher down. I think we're fine. I think we're good to be sitting right here in this spot. We've got a pretty good board state. We obviously don't love having the Squawk ability out. I don't think I discarded the... No, I did not. The Turo. We didn't get rid of the Turo or the Pal Pad, so that's good. I guess that's fine. Yeah, like I said, the only questionable situation was getting rid of 2 of the Ceruledge, but we do redeem ourselves with drawing into an Ultra Ball to get the 1 that we know is in the deck out of there. So we will at least be attacking this next turn. If we could just like draw Boss's Orders and get rid of that Terapagos, that would be sick. We do get Night Stretcher, so I actually might take a different approach here. Now with this, we could Night Stretcher 1 of them out of the discard pile, which we will do. Also, getting rid of the Duskull here is actually not bad either. I think we're totally okay with that. And what we're going to do is actually Ultra Ball, I think, for another one to get that out of the deck. And then we're going to Carmine once more. And then this is all of a sudden not that bad of a situation. So actually, this has turned into quite the opposite. This is pretty good. So we're going to conceal cards. Discard that energy, draw another one. We can Earthen Vessel this away to draw 2 out of the deck, and then we can actually Brilliant Blender the other 5 out of the deck, which is insane. All the other cards I think are fine staying in the deck, so I'll just go ahead and keep them there. We will do that. Was there anything I wanted to shuffle back in? Briar, maybe. I'm actually just going to hold on to the Pal Pad. I think that seems fine. Because at a worst case... So, see, right here, turn 2, we're already doing 310 damage. I think the biggest thing that takes a while to get used to with this deck is you have to make some sacrifices, or take some risks, I should say. And about the only thing they can do this next turn that might kind of hurt, but not really, is they'll boss up the Squawkabilly and knock that out, which would be annoying, but we're just getting an immediate return knockout. Their Terrapagos is never one-hit KOing a Ceruledge unless they pop off a Dusknoir or something to assist with that, because I think the Terrapagos can max do 220 damage with the double turbo attached, so I think we're sitting in an okay spot. Taking out that one Duskull was huge. So they're getting the buddy, and they'll probably, yeah, they're going to get 2 Duskulls. They're going to need them. They're definitely going to need them. So we'll see what happens here. If I had a choice to go after something here, I think I'd probably still go after the Terrapagos, because then a Terrapagos and a double turbo is down. I don't like the fact that there's 2 Duskulls out, but there's obviously not much I can do about that. So we'll see. They do have the Area 0 Underdepths, which actually helps us out as well. So they're gonna hit that so that the Terrapagos could knock out the Ceruledge if need be. We have Turo right there, which is actually kind of funny. I think what I'm gonna do. This is probably not the correct play, but we're going to go there. We're going to evolve this one. And then now I think I'm actually going to Pal Pad the Turo back, and maybe the Briar. I think seems kind of fine. I would like to conceal cards, though. We do have the boss now for next turn, which is pretty sick. We're hitting 350, so I'm okay getting an energy back right now, just in case. I don't think Terrapagos plays a lot of hand disruption, but just in case they do, I wouldn't mind getting that there. So I maybe should have drawn cards and got the boss to take out the Terrapagos or something, but I think this seems like a fine position to be in. So if they're going to have to work really hard to pop off a Dusknoir or Dusclops. But even if they do, the one thing I do need to consider is that we'll be taking a prize for that as well. And we'll be getting an immediate one-hit KO with the other Ceruledge. So I think we're still in a pretty good spot here. We're at a point where the deck is so thin that we're going to constantly get back all of our other boss's orders as well. So they are going to go after the Squawkabilly. They could take 3 prizes here, which is fine, because then we'll go down to 3. And then we'll take 2 and go down to 1. So then they can't really Dusknoir anything at that point. Again, sorry, I feel very like ultra talkative today, but I'm trying to just read out my mental mapping as best as I can, so you can just kind of get an idea for what I'm thinking of during this. So they're taking out the Radiant Greninja. I kind of figured that was coming. So we will take a prize off of that, which is fine. That's the one reason why I'm kind of okay with Dusknoir existing, because it just keeps us in the game too. So there's definitely a world where they still win this, though. They're going to take 3 prizes. They're going to go down to 2. Wait, they actually didn't even do enough. What? But maybe that was the plan, because they could then. No, even then they'd take only 4 prizes next turn. So I think we're fine. I don't think I ever want to put Pheasantipity in play right now. We'll grab literally the 1 energy that we have that we need. which is crazy. We'll attach it. We're actually going to bump the area 0. And we're going to retreat into Ceruledge. And yeah, I don't want to boss anything. And they actually just concede. So I guess that worked out. The real MVP. Guys, that's going to do it for today's gameplay with Ceruledge EX. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this deck and if it's something that you think you're going to try out or if you have tried it out already. If you liked the video though, guys, be sure to go down there, smash the heck out of the like button. I know that's super cringe, but please, just please do it. And subscribe to the channel if you have not already. But guys, until the next one, keep being awesome as always, and we'll see you then. Peace.